Hi there YouTube, welcome to another US Marine Corps update. This will be number 5. You have to excuse my rather gruffly voice because I'm kind of in the middle of having a head cold and it's started affecting my voice. So, I've got a few things to show you this update. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things in total, and we'll start with a revisit to the Marine Corps Halftrack, or the M3 Halftrack that I did back in number 3, I believe. Here it is. So you can see it's basically the same, nothing's been added to it, but I have added some transfers and I've weathered it up, or muddied it up, rusted it up, and I think it turned out pretty good in the end. Again, it can be universally used in either US Army or Marine Corps really. I've only put very subtle US Marine Corps markings on it. See, it's all muddied up and it's been through, it's obviously coming from the sea, so it's got some rust. It's just constantly being kept in damp conditions. It's all muddy. So there's that. I think it looks a lot better than it did the first time I did it. So there's the M3 Halftrack. Next up, go for the Kosman Team, which did finally come. So here we have these are both Assault Group miniatures. I'll just zoom in a little. Just move the camera just a tad. Move a little bit. There you go. So basically, I kind of designed these guys to be doing a little bit of a scene, even though they're two separate miniatures. It's a two-man Corpsman team. So we have this guy's actually, I've decided to make him like a lieutenant. So he's actually like a doctor, and he's got a corpsman assistant, and they've basically treated a wounded soldier, a marine rather, and if we zoom in on this guy, you can see he's basically been shot on the leg. So it's a pretty bad wound, but it's not that serious, and it's been bandaged up and cauterized. Lots of blood, but it's been taken care of, and the corpsman assistant is basically evacuating him back from the firing lines back to a stretcher party. You can see that the wounded soldier, who's a corporal, has lost his helmet and obviously dropped his weapon, and he's in all camouflage uniform, and the actual corpsman is in the straight greens, the Marine Corps helmet. It's got the navy marking of a I can't remember the actual naval rank. There's satchel there. I actually added that from the plastics box set, because this guy was actually quite lacking in belt equipment for the Assault Group miniature. But I really do like this miniature. It's a nicely posed miniature. It's just a shame we didn't have any like medical satchels or anything, which kind of makes him almost look like he's just a normal Marine. But I kind of want to make him I thought he'd make a quite a good sort of a corpsman assistant. So I gave him his own medical bag there, so he can operate independently, even though he's actually working in a team in this situation. You can see that he's got a little bit of blood on his hands where he's assisting the surgeon. And there's the leg wound. You can actually see I've actually put like a little bit of like gauze bandage on there, like the real stuff. And you can see where it's like the blood's run down and stuff. He's got like sand on his boots. And then if you go to his base, you've got some remnants of some gauze padding that was used to slow down the bleeding. And we've got the guy's rifle, and a little pool of blood from where his leg was. And if we now move on to the actual corpsman himself, or rather the actual lieutenant, the surgeon, you can see the rest of the discarded gauzing and materials used to stop the bleeding, and the guy's helmet there, actual wounded soldier's helmet, and then going up into the surgeon himself, who's just kind of putting away some of his equipment ready to go on to the next case. He's got the camouflage utility trousers and the green top. Of course, the standard Marine Corps helmet. But of course, this would be a naval doctor. So there's those, and I'll just put them kind of together again to kind of show you how the scene's supposed to play out like that. Okay, so that's Kosman done at last. The next miniature, last update I did one of my officer figures to be like a captain stroke major, depending on whether I needed to use a bigger army list. Very kindly, the assault group added a limited edition miniature to my order. Thank you very much. And it's this guy, and I thought he would make a perfect major figure. So I did him up to be a sort of major, but I suppose he could be a higher rank really. So I've given him, you can see he's got a slouch hat and just like a gun belt. I've done him in the camouflaged BDU trousers and the green top. I think he came out kind of cool. Quite like him. So now I've got a full choice of command miniatures. So that's him. Next up, we have a Sherman. Zoom out a little bit. This is a one of the plastic warlord artillery Sherman tanks that came in the actually picked it up in the the Tank War starter set. I've kind of, colour scheme wise, it's done in a, it's probably more Marine Corps than US Army, but it could, I've kind of done it so it could be both. I didn't want to really write US Marine Corps or anything on it. There's no tank commander. I do want to do one with a tank commander. But you can see it's basically got a name, 1 star, and a identification number. It's all kind of weathered up and rusty to a certain degree, not fully rusty, but it's had its fair share of trudging across beaches. It's got a little bit of stowage in it, not too much. I think it came out pretty cool. This is my first sort of allied tank that I've done really in bolt action scale. It's got like obviously a moving turret, and it's got the depressing gun, or elevating depressing gun. It's 50 cal. I think it came out kind of cool, and again, like I said, it'll look good being played as a Marine Corps tank or a US Army tank, so it gives me options. Okay, there's that. And finally for this update, something that I've literally just finished 10 or 15 minutes ago. We have a Marine Corps Jeep for a little bit of added mobile firepower. This is obviously the basic Warlord resin and metal Jeep kit that they do, the one that comes with the 2 crew. It actually came with 2 separate heads, so I snapped the original driver's head off, which had one of those sort of US Army type forage woolen hats on. And I just changed it over for one with just a straight up steel cap helmet. Quite a nice model. The gunner was a little odd, in the fact that his hand is positioned more for using a 30 caliber machine gun rather than an M2. So I basically did him so his hand's kind of at the side, so it looks like he's just holding like one of the handles of the 50 cal. Put using a little bit of plastic from one of the blister packs. I put a windscreen in. You can see it there. And I kind of muddied it up, like really muddied it up, with a light amount of rust on it this time. This hasn't quite seen as much trudging through salt water as some of the other vehicles. But I'm quite happy with the way it turned out, and I quite like this little model. It's quite nice. Relatively simple to put together. I think the most trouble I had was actually putting the 50 cal and the gunner in, I think. And probably the second most difficult thing was getting the driver and the steering wheel in position. Or at least the most fiddly, not particularly difficult, just fiddly. You can see the Jeep's got some nice detail. It's got the gear sticks and the four-wheel drive shifters and stuff. And I used, is it MG or MiG? Weathering dust or pigment, or I'm not 100% sure what it's called, to use for the mud effect. It came out really cool. I really do like that stuff. So that is it for this update. Let's do a final view shot of everything in view. So we've got the Jeep, got the tank, Halftrack, Kosman Team, and the Major. So that's the end of this update. Hope you enjoyed it. Once again, not 100% sure what's going to be in the next one. It could well be back to infantry for a bit of a change again. I'm kind of running out of independent things to add to it now. I'm probably 2 infantry squads and a LVT Buffalo away from completing the army now. Unless I decide to, well, I probably will add at least another Sherman that'll, although it'll probably be a similar sort of colour scheme, it will have a Marine Corps commander in, but probably other than that it's practically finished, although then again they are pretty big infantry squads. I think one's a 12 man and one's going to be a 10 man, so they'll take a bit of time to do. So once again, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to keep in touch, and I do plan on doing a in a similar sort of style to what I do with my Japanese army, a grand overview at the end, where I'll basically just have the whole army on the table and I'll just go through everything all over again, so you can see it in its finished state. Once again, repeating myself again, subscribe if you want to keep in touch, and I will catch you in the next update, whenever that will be, probably in about a month perhaps. So until next time, catch you later.